sucking
And
in.
any problems that you had, you were bringing to the university and trying to figure out how to solve this issue.
Emotionally, we need to connect with our garments.
Yeah.
So to me, connectivity is intimate relationship. Of this building, I realized they were producing mustard gas here.
Yeah.
But when you buy jeans for £50 or £70, the real cost is hidden.
Han, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for including me.
We kind of want to know what kind of inspired you to start the brand, especially from a jeans point of view. Why did you want to make jeans?
I guess everything started with my dissatisfaction with my own life, I would say. So I've been in the garment making for last 39 years now. It's a long journey. And at one point I employed a number of people in this building. We are in East London, Walthamstow. Yeah. We had 110, 120 people working in this building.
Wow, okay, so big number.
Big number, and we were producing up to 5,000 garments a week. This was late 90s, mid 90s. So when 2000 came in, industry was changing, and lots of production was going into offshore, into Eastern Europe.
So brands started to outsource to other countries.
Yeah. Traditionally, still to this day, cheap labor is the most important element of fashion industry. There are lots of corners cut going into cheaper countries, which I follow that journey as well. But further I went away, I felt that I was going further away from my own values, if that makes sense. And yes, I had a successful business, we were making money, but I wasn't satisfied with my own lifestyle, with my own values. At one point, I found myself making production in China. I was talking to a Chinese manager, really, tea time. He said, Han, he knows that I like green tea. He said, I'll make you green tea, And while he was making his green tea, his family was about a couple of thousand kilometers away, because in China, small villages, you go into big cities, you live in dormitories, and you are away from your children, your family. And every Chinese New Year, they go back to their villages. This is nearly 20 years ago I'm talking about now. So I was feeling sorry for him. But equally, at that moment, I realized, hang on a second, I am thousands of kilometers away from my own kids.
You were in the same boat.
We were in the same boat. For sake of making cheaper garments. So at that point I decided not to be in fashion world. I hate it actually, because we were constantly searching to get cheaper fabric, searching to get cheaper labor. I came back, I talked to my family. I said, hey guys, we are taking 1 year off. We're going to go around Europe. I know it's a long
No, it's fantastic.
Such a short question, but long answer. So when we came back from our journey, I decided not to drive, not to take any journeys to work. What I did, I opened a neighborhood restaurant, and that was an eye-opening moment for me. Because in the hospitality industry, you cannot cut corners. Your service has to be impeccable. Your ingredients has to be freshest possible. And for about 4.5 years, I did that. With I started building amazing friendship in the neighborhood, because people started coming into the space, celebrating their birthdays, people getting married in the space. So all of a sudden I felt connected to the community through this little space I had. As a creative, the chef was in the creative seat, because he was deciding. It was also seasonal menu. So from 1st of April to 30th of April, menu changed into June, July. So the chef had a big saying in the menu. And because I wasn't sitting on the seat of creative decision making, I was missing my creativity.
Yeah.
So I was in a meeting, and the theme of the meeting was, how do you use your creativity in your daily life, in your work? When the question came to me, I couldn't really respond to that. So when I was thinking about my own lifestyle, where I was really felt fulfilled creatively, I remember this building. I felt, yes, I think I should go back now, but I'm going to do something very different this time. So in the hospitality, what I learned was two things was happening 15 years ago. One was craft beer movement, and also in Hackney we had quite a bit of coffee roasters as well. Okay, so these little small production units were appearing, and they were competing with big names. Their difference was they had an open door policy, they used incredible ingredients, and they produced beautiful beers, lagers, coffees. And I thought, so what's the beer of the fashion industry? And it was jeans, and I always felt dissatisfied with my own jeans. Because I'm trained as a tailor, when I was looking inside, it was really badly made.
You're being turned off because of the loose threads and
how
how
my
it was
God,
constructed.
yes. I think some brands romanticizes those messiness, but as a tailor, it's a
It was an eyesore. Yeah.
As soon as you see that, you say, oh.
Yeah.
So I decided to make jeans, and I decided to make best jeans in the world, because in the hospitality industry, craft beer movement taught us that we can.
Yeah.
And especially if we connect with the local community, with local people. And of course, because also I love hospitality, I said, okay, I'm going to do it in a way that within the space we're going to have a pop-up restaurant, so that constant traffic coming into the space. And that's really, they go hand to hand.
Yeah.
So that's how we started Blackhorse Lane.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Yes.
And now we have Slow Burn
yes,
opposite us, and Chavda's been here for a number of years.
Well, Chavda worked at my restaurant at Homa.
Yeah.
It was about 14, 15 years ago. And he connected.
Yeah.
He said, I heard that you have a industrial kitchen. Shall we work together? I said, of course.
Yeah. So there's a deep connection there between your past and what's going on now.
I think we talked about, very often we talk about connectivity and community.
Yeah.
They go together, connectivity and community. And of course, if I can't walk to walk, how can I? So to me, relationships are so important, and continuity is so important. And I've been knowing him for nearly 15 years now, and I feel rich because of that as well.
And tell me, why were you interested in becoming a tailor?
Well, I came to this country in 1987, and at that time my uncle had a factory, and he was trained tailor in Turkey. He came to this country in the 60s, late 60s, and I find myself being a student here and working part-time in his factory, but I had to earn my living. At one point, it was an easy transition into, I in a way, I'm landed into the trade.
Yeah.
Early 90s, my uncle had two factories, and one of them wasn't doing so well. The other one, where he stayed full-time in the building, that was doing well. Where he wasn't staying in, that wasn't doing well. He said, would you consider becoming a partner? I said, yes, of course.
Yeah.
But I guess I was naive, because it was a big responsibility. So as soon as the reality hit me. I was having panic attacks because every morning I was going into this huge factory, but I didn't really know much about pattern cutting, sewing techniques. And what I decided, there was a 1-year course, pattern cutting and sewing techniques. I enrolled into that course, and my learning curve was faster because every single student there, they didn't have a factory like mine.
Of course. Yeah.
So every single problem I had in the factory, I was bringing to the school, and I was learning. I was like a sponge, very dry sponge. I was just sucking in.
Any problems that you had, you were bringing to the university and trying to figure out how to solve this issue.
Yeah.
So it was really hands-on. Real life problems.
It was real problems, and thanks to that experience, I learned very fast, and our factory became more successful than my uncle's.
Than the other ones. And how did he feel about it? Was he proud, or was it a bit of a competition?
I think he was proud to begin with. After a couple of years later, of course, competitive nature of the business. He was upset in a sweet way, though.
Okay. So Han, you talked about connectivity and your relationship with Chavdar and other people. What does connectivity mean to you?
I think that's an amazing question. Connectivity, to me, first you need to connect to yourself, self-awareness, emotional maturity, understanding who you are, and of course with that, in a way, connectivity equals intimacy, and if you do that well with yourself, gradually you extend that to your friendship, your relationships, and your community. And in fact, one of the things that I really believe in, we need to connect with our garments as well. So, for example, if you wear something long enough and build memories with that, that becomes precious, and that's a very rich wardrobe, I call it, when you have so many items. Just to give you an example, when I opened the restaurant I was telling you earlier, I lived in the neighborhood for 22 years, and I didn't really know much of my neighbors. But the moment I opened the restaurant, people started celebrating their birthdays, weddings, and people were stopping in the park, on the road, saying good morning. That sense of knowing people, it made me happy. It fulfilled me on a very deep soul. My soul was really, I felt really rich. So to me, connectivity is intimate relationship.
And could you tell us a little bit more about the building that we're in? It's a very old building, and you obviously have lots of memories here.
Yeah.
But could you give us a little kind of a breakdown of it?
I mean, we bought this building in '96. London it just came out of recession. It was going into recession again, and we had this beautiful industrial detached building, and everywhere you look, there are windows.
Yeah.
And I mean, now it's sunny outside and it's stunning light here. Of course, when we came in first, it was a double glazing factory. And also I didn't know much about the history of the building. But about 8-9 years ago, somebody gave me a link history of this building. I realized they were producing mustard gas here.
Tear gas.
Tear gas and mustard gas, So I'm a Kurdish descendant. I'm Kurdish. And first chemical bomb was used against Kurds by British military. And most probably it was produced in this factory.
So it's a really interesting...
It's a really interesting connection, I mean, yes, the floors are yellow. Apart from that, maybe we use mustard in the salads or meat.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. So it's been 1910, 1920?
It was built around 1908, 1910, but it's a very modern building. They use lots of cement and steel construction, and it's really sturdy and strong building. Yeah.
Can you tell me, when you were first starting up the business, what were some of the difficulties that you ran into?
I
what
told
were the
you
challenges?
that. I told you that we opened this place in 1996, and at the time we opened it in 3 weeks as a factory. Okay, so what that means is all the equipments were ready, electricity was ready, and we put the words out in 1996. Within 3 weeks we had 80 people working, and the factory was humming. So 26, 27 years later, when I decided to open the jeans production unit, denim production, we did it in a way that it's a small production. Okay, we didn't want to do mass production. We wanted to do craft production because of craft beer movement. So we decided, okay, we're going to employ 10 people to start our production. In 6 months, we managed to employ only 5 to 6 people.
Wow.
So that drainage of know-how, drainage of skilled worker was gone. That's always the most challenging bit for us, because it's a labor of love. We don't have anything automated. So that's one of the obstacles we constantly. The other difficulty is people perception about garments. Garments needs to be cheap, because when I remember my parents or grandparents, they used to invest into garments. So that you had your local tailors, and there was a sense of proudness and investing into good quality garments. So that's gone, and what's replaced is fast fashion, cheap garments, and you could buy jeans for £50 now. But when you buy jeans for £50 or £70, the real cost is hidden. So the other challenge for us is trying to be in the business of fashion with London prices, because naturally our jeans are a bit more expensive than some high streets. But in terms of quality, 10 times better. So that's another challenge we constantly get. Another challenge is, as soon as we opened Blackhorse Lane, we had Brexit. So that uncertainty in the business. Then we had COVID, then 2 wars. So constant challenges.
Constant things coming up that you have to battle with. One of the things that I thought was quite interesting as well, when you said you had 5 to 6 people who turned up when you put the advert out for people to join. Those people didn't have knowledge of how to make jeans. No, they were more tailored. They were coming from a tailoring background. In fact, maybe that was the blessing. Because again, as a tailor, denim is one of the most engineered garments in the world. So I asked a friend of mine who's been producing denim for last nearly 40 years. I asked him to help us out here for about 3.5 weeks. Everything he was showing to us, we were refusing, because everything he learned is 1950s production, which is 1950s production. Unfortunately, is the worst production. Because at that point it was mass production at that. But also between 1945 to 1950 there was a Second World War. The quality of the garments and everything went down. Because they had to make it very quickly. They had to make it very quickly. The buying power went down. They had to mass produce everything cheapest possible way. But equally, if you look at most denim heads and some countries who loves denim, if you look at their construction, they follow 1950s construction. Unfortunately for us, that's a substandard. So that's a challenge, because that became norm, but we are producing here one of the best construction methods, and that makes it a bit more expensive. So that's another challenge we constantly get. Did I answer your question, or you did?
I?
No, you answered my question.
Okay.